All right, let's get stuck into Algebra Lesson 1. So you might recall from what you learned about algebra last year, terms. So a term is a group of numbers and pronumerals that are connected via multiplication and division. So here, when I write 3a, that's actually saying 3 times a. In algebra, we don't use the multiplication or division sign anymore. We'll just put a number next to the letter, and that is times. Or if it's numbers, we'll put a bracket there, and that also means times. So you can imagine there's a little invisible multiplication sign in between these, and that is what makes them a term, because they are connected by multiplication and division. So 3a is a term, 7b is another term. Now 4 is a term as well, but we call that a constant term. So a constant term is a number with no attached pronumerals. Now remember, pronumerals are these letters here. So pronumerals, or we also call them variables, are just those letters. They represent an unknown number, which we'll get onto in a second. Now, when we have a bunch of terms connected by addition or subtraction, we call that an expression. Now you'll notice this looks like an equation, yes, but it does not have an equal sign after or before it. So it is an expression. Now an expression is those terms that we just spoke about when they are connected by addition or subtraction. Pretty straightforward. Now let's get into substitution. So make note of this definition. A lot of questions will ask you to evaluate an expression. So that's find the value of an expression. Now, typically, you'll be given a value for these pronumerals when you are asked to evaluate the expression. So in this case, evaluate the expression when a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 7. So my first step in solving this, wherever I see an a, I'm going to replace that with a 2. Wherever I see a b, I'm going to replace that with a 7. But instead of just writing it straight in, I typically like to include brackets. So where the a was, I'll put some brackets. And then continue on with the rest of the equation. Where the b was, I'll put some brackets, and I'm going to replace that with a 7 now. Because we were told up here, wherever you see a b, that's now a 7. And that 4, the constant term, that doesn't change. Now these here, 3 bracket 2, that's just the same as saying 3 times 2. So 3 times 2 is pretty basic. Straight underneath, 3 times 2 is 6. Now, we've got a positive 7 here and a positive 7. Positive 7 times positive 7 is a 49. So it'll be positive 49. And then we're going to take 4 away from that. And now we just need to combine these. So 6 plus 49, or 49 plus 6, is 55. We're going to take 4 away from that. Now 55 take 4 is equal to 51. Let's try another. So evaluate this expression when x equals 4 and y equals 3. So let's do the same thing. Let's write out our equation. But wherever we saw a letter before, we're just going to put a bracket there. And that's for the x, and we've been told x is equal to 4. And this bracket's for the y, and y is equal to 3. Then it's negative, and there's another y, that was equal to 3. And don't forget the squared up here. Now, we just need to go through and evaluate this. When there's brackets next to each other, same deal. We're just going to times these all together. It doesn't matter what order we times them in, as long as we do times them all together. So 4 times 4 is equal to 16. And then 16 times 3, 16, 32, 48. And the square of 3, because we're asking to square 3 here. 3 squared is 9, but there was this negative out the front, so be sure to keep that there. So 48 take 9, and that is equal to 39. One more for good measure. A bit of a longer one, this one. So 3a plus 4b plus 2ab. Same deal. 3. This bracket used to be an a. we've been told A is equal to 2. So that'll be a 2. Then this will be 4. And B is equal to 4 here, we've been told. So where B was, we're going to put a 4 in the bracket. And then we've got a 2. We had an A here. Pardon me, got carried away. A is equal to 2. And we've got another bracket for the B. B is equal to 4. So you can see if I was to go through here, this bracket used to be an A. That used to be a B. That used to be an A. That used to be a B. So everywhere I've got an A, everywhere A used to be, it is a 2. Everywhere B used to be, it is a 4 now, because we've been told that's what they equal. So this is substitution. We've substituted that into the equation. Go through, figure it out. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 4 times 4 is 16. And 2 times 2 is 4. So those two equal 4. And then 4 times 4 is equal to 16. So now we have 16 plus 16, that's 32, plus 6, that's 38. So if we evaluate this expression, it is equal to 38. No, I lied. Let's go one more. If you feel you're confident with it, go ahead, try the ones in the textbook. If you feel like you need a little bit more help, I'll go through this one as well. So same deal, x is equal to 3, y is equal to 2. So where we see a y, do a bracket there, and that used to be a y. Then we're going to go plus 6, do a bracket there, this used to be an x. And then plus 2 bracket for this y. Let's leave the squared up there. That used to be a y. And then plus this bracket used to be a y. Now we need to do, go in, wherever it said y, we write a 2, because we were told y is equal to 2. Wherever we see an x, we were told x is equal to 3. Wherever we see y, 2. There we go. And then we just have to use BIDMAS to solve this. So obviously brackets, indices, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Everyone remembers BIDMAS. So let's get rid of our brackets first. That 2, nothing's happening to it. It's just being added on, so we'll leave that. 6 times 3, that is 18. 2 times 2 over here, that is 4. And then we'll drop everything down from the previous line as well, that we haven't touched. Now we have a pretty easy equation. 2 plus 18 is 20, and 4 plus 2 is 6. So now 20 plus 6 equals 26. There are some terms you're going to need to know when you are reading the questions. If I ask you to find the sum of two numbers, that is addition. If I ask you to find the difference of two numbers, say the difference between 10 and 7, you would do 10 take 7. So finding the difference is subtraction. Finding the product of two numbers is multiplication. Finding the quotient, this is a bit of a rare one, but good to know. That is division. Finding the square of a number, take that, whatever number it is, and just square it. And finding the root of a number is that square root sign, just like we did in Pythagoras. All right, hope this helps. See you in lesson 2.
Oh, no, can we go back?
Yeah. Yeah. Maddie, do you need to go to the toilet?